It's a new week of trading activities, speaking of the Nigerian Equities space, and of course the markets have opened for the week. We saw a very busy week last week, of course, with the markets remaining in the mixed territory, a lot of bullish and bearish trends. However, the week has started, and how much of an impact will the last week event have on this week, and what should we expect from the Nigerian equities markets this week? And joining me now is Success Ogbonna. He is a financial analyst. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much, Shamaka.
Begin by
Thank you so much,
how
Amaka.
the NGX performed last week. Speaking of the, like I mentioned, the mixed sentiment we saw, of course, the markets for the first time entered the bearish trend after we had seen a sustained bullish sentiment for a long time. But let's hear from you. What do you make of that, and how much of an impact will that have during this week's market trading?
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for the opportunity. No, the market is never straight. It's not, doesn't happen on it, doesn't just flow on a straight line, right? So this up and down movement is just part of the flow, overall flow of the market, right? So that the market, from the overall view, right, from a bigger picture of the market, we know the market is bullish, right? So, but then this bullish trend is not something that's going to be just so straight, right? But there'll be some pullbacks, there'll be some ups and downs that will give opportunity for those who weren't able to buy or come into the market at the time where price was high, be able to participate as price drops down, for them to be able to come in and benefit from the overall flow of the market.
Okay, let's take a look particularly at the banking sector. If you look closely, you would see that the banking sector was a major contributor to the bullish trend that we saw last week. I mean, the banking sector was a major driver to that. Talking about the banking stocks rebounding last week. How much of an impact will that have in this coming week, seeing that we have seen most of the banking stocks emerge as major gainers and major market movers in the past week?
All right. Okay. First, we are living in one of the most interesting times. Like we are seeing the market making new highs. Right. We see companies like Transcorp doing crazy numbers. Right. So the current situation, the current economic situation we are having right now with the devaluation of the naira and all, is very lucrative and very attractive to investors, because those out there are able to see the opportunities here for their money to grow. This whole devaluation of the naira gives their money, makes their investment much bigger here in our country, but don't make the investment here bigger, right, and makes it better for them. So it's a lot more lucrative for them. And you know how this money comes. How does this money come into the entire system? It's through the banks, right? Through the banks, they get to receive this money, and it's definitely the bank stocks is one of the safest, right? It's one of the safest stocks out there for anyone who is willing to start up their investment journey to go in. Right? So definitely we're going to be seeing more rallies across the banking sectors, across the bank stocks. We're going to be seeing more rallies in the coming weeks, right? Because the world naira devaluation will continue. That's the truth, right? With the way things are, we're going to be seeing opportunities, right? More opportunities for investors, and this definitely, the banking sector is one very lucrative sector right now that everybody is looking at to put in their money and to grow their money.
A bit
so definitely for me, I'm so bullish on
the devaluation, and we've seen that play out for quite a while now, talking about the effect of that singular action on the naira. What should we expect this coming week with regards to the currency market? I asked this because we saw sometime last week where the naira attained a weekly low of as much as 1,089 to $1, and eventually regaining. But looking at this coming week, putting putting in place the decision regarding interest rates coming from the United States Fed. What should we expect with regards to the naira in this coming week?
Oh, the naira. If I'm talking from a technical, let me look at it. Let me talk about it from a technical standpoint because I'm more of a chart person. So looking at the charts, I think I was looking at the chart this morning, and really, it's not looking good for the naira. That's the truth. It's still not looking good for the naira. The fundamental plays set out to maybe back up the naira. Policies are not just so strong enough right now to sustain or help the naira in any way, because definitely we're going to be seeing more falls. We're going to be seeing more falls. Looking from the charts, it's going to be seeing the naira falling even more. That's just the truth. And this, again, like I say, it's attractive to those out there. It's really, really attractive for them, because this now it is not bad. The fall of the naira is not entirely in we might be seeing it as though it's bad, but to those out there, it gives more room for investors to be able to invest, because they know their money will be able to gain more grounds here, right? The money will make more. The investment will be. There will be a lot of investors coming down here to put in their money because of this situation that's happening, and there'll be more. This will great factories, more new developments. Definitely, it's going to be giving room for a lot of developments in the country, right? Because more persons want to inject their money because they know their money is going to grow and make more sense here.
Well, you are someone who monitors closely the exchange rate, especially from the P2P markets, that is the peer-to-peer market. But we've seen a lot happen in that regard. Last I checked this morning, we saw that there was a drastic fall in the naira at the P2P market. What would you like to say about that? Speaking of the P2P market specifically.
Yeah, I want to talk about the P2P market. We're talking about just peer-to-peer, right? People exchanging currencies amongst themselves. Definitely, it's just still the same thing, right? It's just still the same thing. At the end of the day, they'll be playing, right? They'll be selling or buying based on the rates as called from the black market. That's the truth. These guys are going to be selling or buying based on the way it's called in the black market. Although I don't really know the exact figure. I didn't really check the exact figure this morning, but definitely we're going to be seeing it's the cost of buying a dollar or any other currency with the naira going higher and higher. Okay, so it's if you want to really buy any for any currency right now, this is the best time.
Happened within the commodity space in the past week. But starting this new week now, speaking about the commodities market, looking specifically at the price of oil, one of the major things that happened over the weekend was finally the resumption or starting of production, speaking of the Dangote refinery, and a lot is going on within the oil space. How much of an impact will that have, especially with Nigeria's budget projection? We're seeing that finally the budget, actually the amount that was put on the budget is the amount that oil is going for at this moment. So how much of an impact will that have in this coming week with regards to oil prices?
Wow, I would want to say that this is seeing the over 6 million barrels being sent to Dangote refinery for production. It's a very great development, because we're going to be seeing more rallies in the price of oil, right? Because we're talking about currently there are wars going on, right? We have the wars between Russia, Ukraine. We have the war between Israel and Hamas. We have now the US is threatening Yemen with airstrikes. Now, one thing you must understand is that wars require energy, right? Are sustained with energy. And what other energy other than oil, right? So the demand for oil will be on the rise, and the price for oil will be on there. Since this actually it's good business for Nigeria, right? As an oil producing nation, this is good business for us, right? So this is more opportunity for us to bring in the dollars to the country.
But from what you've said, you've talked about all of these conflicts and uncertainty in certain areas. Would you say Nigeria is leveraging on these opportunities that, unfortunately, these conflicts should have given Nigeria? We've seen Namibia become an major oil exporting nation to some countries in the West. However, do you see Nigeria leveraging on the opportunity that these conflicts have given oil producing nations?
Yeah, definitely. I see. I feel that's one of the things that actually influenced the release of this much barrel of oil to the Dangote refinery for production. I believe this is to ensure we're able to export this oil, and even its products across for business, right? And also to be able to make more money to bring in more dollars to the country.
Well, it's a new week of trading, a new week of transactions, talking about the NGX, that is the Nigeria Exchange. What should we expect? Can the NGX sustain the round of gains we saw it have towards the end of last week? What should we look forward to?
Overall, looking at the NGX side, it's looking good. Right? Like I said again, I'm looking at it from the chart perspective, and it's really looking good for the Nigerian stock market. Right? It's really looking good for the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Really looking good. I expect to see more rallies. Like I said, it's the bullish one is going to continue. But just maybe there might be some little pullbacks, but definitely there is no. I don't see any barrier yet that is going to maybe bring a decline or any fall as a result to any sort of panic. So for now, the market is still very much bullish, and I think the rally is going to continue. The rally is going to continue. Looking from a chart standpoint, it's going to really continue.
Do you also expect to see the rally we saw last week continue within the banking stock exchange this week?
Yes, definitely yes. With the whole with the current value of the naira and the fact that we'll be seeing money, definitely that will continue. That will continue.
We'll be on the lookout, of course, to see just how well the markets will be performing this week. But before you go, let's look at inflation projections. We expect numbers to be released soon, and we are, of course, expecting to hear from the Monetary Policy Committee soon as possible. But let's hear from you. What are your projections for inflation for the month of December, which we do expect for the National Bureau of Statistics to release this week?
Wow. I personally I don't really like guessing per se, but definitely inflation it's gonna be released. It's gonna still be on the high side, or maybe we might just want to maintain the values, right? It's either we're gonna be seeing a little increase or almost same value, but I won't want to maybe predict any figure right now. But I expect to see almost same value or a little higher than what we've seen before. That's what I'm preparing my mind for in the market.
In the words of Success Ogbonna, he says he doesn't want to put a peg to the inflation figure that we'd expect this week. However, we also will be on the lookout for that. Success Ogbonna, financial analyst. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much.
Well, this is the much that we can take on today's edition of Business Daily, coming to you on Trust TV. Well, we'll be with you again tomorrow, so do well to join us. For now, my name is Chiamaka Enendu. Thank you for watching.